Some stories are meant to stay hidden, buried deep within the silence of fear. This is one of those stories, a story shared by a girl named Sarina, whose life was changed forever by something that should never have been, and yet was.
It was a Sunday morning when Sarina was left home alone. Her parents were at work, and with the house empty, she thought the day would pass like any other. Her only company? Stella, her loyal Rottweiler mix.
Her only concern was finishing a project due the next day, yet the air felt heavy, the silence too still. And then, out of nowhere, the scratching began. At first it seemed harmless. She looked to make sure it wasn't Stella. But it wasn't. No, this sound was different, insistent, unnatural. Confused, she checked outside. There was nothing. No bear, no animal, just the eerie silence of the forest. She shook it off and returned to her work, unaware of the danger creeping closer. This time, the scratching was different, louder, more persistent. Stella, once calm, now growled fiercely. Something wasn't right. The air turned thick with tension. Cut to Sarina in her bedroom, sitting on the bed, scrolling on her phone. Stella is beside her, still on edge. The room is quiet except for the occasional growl from Stella. A voice, faint and familiar. Her mother's voice, but it was impossible. Her mother wasn't supposed to be home yet, and yet Sarina could hear it, clear as day. Footsteps, slow and deliberate. They came closer, each step echoing in the quiet house. The door to her room was just a few steps away, and yet it didn't open. It went elsewhere. The footsteps stopped at her parents' room. The door creaked open and then shut. Sarina's heart raced, but there was nothing more she could do. She called her mother, desperate, but the answer she received was dismissive. Her mother, at work, didn't believe her. "Wait until something happens," she said, but Sarina couldn't wait anymore. Fear consumed her. She was alone, and yet something wasn't. Something was in her house. In desperation, Sarina ran, Stella by her side. She pounded on a neighbor's door, begging for safety, and just when they thought they were safe, the neighbor, shaken, told her own story, one that chilled Sarina to the bone. The same scratching, the same footsteps, the same terror. Only, the last time, it wasn't just a sound. Her husband had gone in, armed with only a kitchen knife. And there, under their bed, something waited, eyes glowing, yellow and cold, watching. It was then that they ran, not knowing what they had narrowly escaped. When the police arrived, they were skeptical. But when they returned, their faces were pale with fear. They had seen it too. Something, someone, pretending to be someone they knew, but monstrous, a demon in disguise. It's been months since Sarina and her family moved out, but the creature that haunted their home never truly left. The terror that filled their hearts that day still lingers in the quiet corners of their minds. And, for now, they hope it stays that way.